though I see you wearing a WWE shirt, but recently, January 19th to be exact, you posted on Twitter that you and the company have decided to part ways,
Yeah,
and you feel it's the best decision for all parties. It's been a pleasure and an honor to work with a young talent as well. Now, you said the company and I have decided to part ways. Why did you decide to part ways?
well, some a friend of mine, a once wise man, once said, "Everything has an expiration date, regardless if it's going so good or not. Everything has an expiration date, whether it be life, which we all know, because everybody has to die. You
Right.
know, you're born and then you die, and even jobs. You're not you at a job forever. Either you walk away, you get fired, or you retire. Everything happens for a reason. Well, there were just certain things, and I can't really get into detail with it, but you would agree to disagree on certain things, and that's what it was. And I think it was just time to move on and to do something else. I have other projects I was doing. I have a detailing business in Florida. I have an academy, in Winter Park. And so I thought maybe it was just best that I concentrate on those things and to move on. Nothing, I'm very happy and grateful for the time that I spent, not only as talent, but definitely a producer. I was very happy, with my time in NXT. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not taking anything away from the main roster, but I love NXT. I love those women, men and women down there. I think they're a great bunch of guys. And I don't want to start mentioning names because if any one of them sees this and I don't mention their name, I'll probably
Yeah.
get a lot of.
They get mad
But
at you.
they get mad. I mean, I know I would be mad if I've worked with somebody and all of a sudden they forgot to tell my name. But no,
Yeah.
I loved everyone there. It was such a great feeling, and I just didn't. I hated to go. I really hated to go, and
So
you
then
know, I
why did you go then? There
well,
were rumors online that you were pulled from an ECW tribute show and that caused a rift. We don't these are rumors online. These are not from your mouth or my mouth that you parted ways 1 month later after being pulled from this ECW show. So rumors are Bruce Pritchard found out, didn't like this. Triple H found out, but yet how did it all get approved to be on the show if
well,
Triple H didn't
let
know in
me
the first place?
let me just say this:
Yeah,
I have no issues with
good.
Triple H. Triple H did not threaten to fire me. And what a lot of people don't know is I did not speak to Hunter directly during that. But no, he did not threaten to fire me. It was just again, you know, miscommunication on the dirt sheet writers or
Yeah.
whatever. But that was not the case. Again, I can't really go into detail right now. But again, I Triple H. I am a you have shirts out there that say a Paul Heyman guy.
You're a Triple H guy?
I'm a Paul Heyman guy because he helped me with ECW, but
Yeah.
I'm totally a Triple H guy. I can't begin to thank that man enough for everything that he's done for me. Um, he was the reason why I became a producer. When Bubba and I left in 2016 as talent, it was, from my understanding, it was him that actually suggested for me to become a producer. And I remember the night we said farewell to the Dudleys, he pulled me aside and asked me, would I like the job? And I told him, I said, look, I'm not ready to hang it up yet. There's still a lot left in the tank for me. I said, I would still love to wrestle, maybe help out some of the younger talent, like Apollo Crews, things like that.
Yeah.
But, unfortunately, Vince wanted both parties. And, there was nothing he could do at that point. So that's why he offered me the job. And I said, well, do I have a choice? Do I have a choice? And he goes, no, not really, Devon. And I'm, all right, well, I'll take the producer's job because I still wanted to be a part of the company. I
Yeah, yeah.
still wanted to be a part of the company. And I really enjoy it was a childhood dream of mine to work for WWE. And I grew up watching the product, idolizing the product, and watching and idolizing the talent during the Hogan and Andre era at that time. No other wrestling promotion in my mind back then as a child existed.
True.
Vince Vince loves to, loves to make, wants people to think that no other company exists in pro wrestling except for WWF at the time. Like no NWA, no WCW, no, Mid South or Georgia. And in my mind, it didn't. I was totally hooked on WWE TV. And so I was very grateful. So again, I don't have any issues with the company whatsoever. Hopefully, maybe, you never know. I may be back, but if I was to ever go back, I would want it to be NXT because that's the feel I would do my best. And just simply because of me owning the wrestling school, doing what I'm doing with that, and I can relate to the younger talent and helping them to mold them, brains and in terms of pro wrestling, helping them to get to where they need to be. So if I was to go back, I would hope it would be asked in a position for NXT. But it was just time to go. That's all. It was just time to go. There's no other words for it. Again, you agree to disagree, and sometimes it gets a little old. But you have to be the bigger man, and you say, okay, enough's enough. So there's nothing that was done maliciously or out of content for me to go, nope, I'm done.
Okay.
It's just time. Again, people disagree.
Is there an example that you can, I know you don't want to get into details, but is there like one example, a small one that you could say like, oh, this is an example of I wanted this and they wanted that?
Again, there's certain things I can touch on right now and there's certain things I can't.
Of course. That's why I asked for a small one, not a big one.
Maybe at a later time. But yeah, but going back, yes, I was told that I could not do the autograph signing, and for certain reasons. And when it was explained to me why, I said, okay, I get it. I mean, was I upset? Yes. Was because I just thought it could have been done a little earlier than when I was told, because in that way, people would not have expected me to not be there. But it is what it is, and it happens. It's water under the well now, and you move on from it. But to me, my thing was, and it always had been that if I'm not doing anything, with the company, if the company is not actively, working, then I wanted to be able to go out there and kind of freelance a little bit. But you can't do that when you work for an organization. So I get it and understand it, but it's just something that I felt that I just wanted to do. So was that one of the reasons why I left? No, but again, it was just to agree to disagree.
Right. I'm glad we clarified, because I know you mentioned that the wrestling website, the dirt sheets, you get a crumb and you can make a whole loaf of bread out of that story somehow. And so no one knew. So when I was told, oh, I'm going to talk to Devon, I'm like, well, this is a question that people will be yelling at me if I didn't ask. So I had to ask because no one knows. You are the person who has the information. The WWE certainly is not going to just, willfully give this information out. So thank you for sharing that story.